You're welcome back to the Bumper Breakfast Show on MITV. This morning we have with us in the studio the chairman of the Lagos State Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors. He is QS or Lanre Farotimi. It's nice to have you on the program.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And thank you for having me.
Welcome. Real.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Welcome to Bumper Breakfast Show.
Thank you.
This morning we will be discussing house deficit in Nigeria. The very first question I'd like to ask you, is there really a house deficit in Nigeria?
Of course, there is housing deficit in Nigeria because even if you look from the perspective of our leaders, the politicians, each time they come on board to campaign for elections, they begin to use the mantra like housing for all by the year 2010, housing for all by the year 2020, and so on and so on. That means that they themselves recognize the fact that there is deficit in the housing needs of the people of Nigeria.
So how should these needs be met other than making promises? It's one thing to make promises, whether they are promises that will be fulfilled or whether they are empty promises. It's one thing to make promises, but it's another thing to make promises that are that are fulfilled and are affordable. What do you think in this regard?
Well, before we can begin to talk about the solution, we need to also understand where we're coming from in terms of this issue of housing deficit. As at 1991, the sole challenge that we have, which is the major cause of housing deficit at that time, is the issue of inefficiency of the mortgage system. Okay. And when this was left unattended to for a long time, other issues begin to, pull their weight, which now added to the challenges that we have with the sector. We have the issue of urban expansion, urban migration, increased poverty and some other factors, which now make it more challenging for the government to meet the needs, of the people. So if all these are looked into and addressed properly, I believe there will be a way forward in the housing sector.
Okay, the 1991 you mentioned, actually, that is where I'm going to pick it from.
All right.
The housing deficit in Nigeria, deficit grew from whatever percent it is to 300% now. About 7 million in 1991. To 2007, it was about 12 million.
Sure.
In 2010, we have 14 million.
Yeah.
In 2019, we have 20 million, and currently, as we speak, 28 million.
28 million.
And it baffles me how we continue to have the real estate managers and management and companies, houses continue to increase, but yet the problem is increasing more. Despite the fact that we have more houses, then we have more problems. And, thank God we have experts like you in the house. A lot of people are wondering, a young man of 30 like this is difficult to, rent an apartment,
Talk less of holding a property to himself. Yeah. And people will come and tell you with 20,000 you can hold a land or have a house, And all those gimmicks, marketing gimmicks.
Yes, there are a lot of scammers outside, yet people are still falling victim of this, fake people. But here we have experts like you, on the show this morning, and I would like you to expatiate more on what I've just said.
Well, I think one of the things that we need to understand is that, like I said earlier, this has almost become like a myth. People pay lip services to all these issues, especially from the government perspective, until deliberate and intentional efforts is put towards resolving this issue. Will continue to have this increase in the deficit. Now, what are the issues? Government needs to just put some things in place. Number one, you need to encourage, private sector, both formal and informal participation in the delivery of housing units in Nigeria. Number two, you need to, formulate policies that ensures that anyone who wants to develop has access to land. Because as it is now, land has been, given to the state governors to hold in trust for the people. So for you to be able to have access to land, and you begin to talk about getting a CFO, and you know what it means to do that. Even developers that are coming on board, some of them will say want to provide affordable housing. Then you ask yourself, how affordable are these housing that we're talking about? Because if you want to be just a bungalow, a 2-bedroom unit, you can't be talking of, you'll be talking in millions.
Of course, yes.
You understand? So how affordable is that? So mortgage has to be put in place. People must have access to credits. Those are the things that government should ensure. And then infrastructure is also very key. Whereby people, the road is there, the lighting is there, and some other things. All you need to do is to tap into those things. But here, people that are building are also acting as the local government of themselves. Okay, they provide the access road, they provide the light, they provide the borehole for the water, and so on and so on. All those things also add to the cost, of this housing that we're talking about. And then we also talk about the issue of increase in the cost of construction materials.
Yes, because I was coming there.
Because most of the materials that are used in the building sector are expensive,
and
they are expensive because most of them are imported. Okay, and by the time we begin to talk about importation, we are talking about forex. So and the more our naira goes down, then the prices increases. So that is the challenge that we have in the housing sector, and government must be intentional in resolving it.
Okay. Yeah, 2 questions I want to ask from the points that you have made. First of all, we talked about making mortgage available, credit available to people. Now, in doing that, we know Nigerians for who they are.
Yeah.
We know that there are a lot of risks.
Sure.
How many mortgage banks want to put, want to take the risk, really? Even those who are in existence as we speak, are going through a pretty rough time from what I am told.
Sure.
And so, you want to look, I think it's a chicken and egg situation, which one comes first. So yes, the people need credit. And this people problem caused a big issue on this table yesterday.
Okay.
Because Tessie was talking about the people. We need to be reorientated and orientated. You understand what I'm saying? We need to have the orientation, and we need to be reorientated.
Yes.
And the reason I'm saying this is because if help is going to come your way and you're going to take undue advantage and misuse it, then the person coming behind you is not likely to get that opportunity again.
Sure.
Okay, so we need to make the people understand that they have to be credible, and they have to be accountable. How do you suggest that the mortgage banks could go around this?
Well, first of all, I think something happened to the commercial banks, during the time of Professor Charles Soludo.
Yes.
The recapitalization of these commercial banks took place.
Yeah.
I think the same thing has to happen, in the mortgage
industry.
sector. Okay, because we are talking about access to credits. The facilities must be there. The money must be there for people to access.
Sure.
So if the mortgage banks has the right standing in terms of their capacity, in terms of volumes of money that is available to them, then it will be easy for people to access this credit. And then there must be an institutional framework that is put in place by the government to ensure
that they pay back.
That they pay back, Otherwise, it will just come back to what you said. People take advantage of it, and then at the end of the day, other people who are coming behind, will not be able to have access to this credit.
Sorry, sir. I'd like to quickly take us back to this little conversation. I believe if a bank is going to give you a loan, or if mortgage is going to respond to your request, there are some certain things that should be looked into. Like, what do? Do you work with the government? Are you a private-owned company, or are you a sole proprietorship or a partnership? With your experience and then your position in these government parastatals, I'd like to understand that it takes those banks to give a loan to somebody who is earning. And now you want to talk about a country with a large number of unemployment. You want to talk about a country that statistically we have about 133 to 150 million poor people in this country, and we are really struggling to manage it. I believe the fear of this person might have issue with us if we give this loan or this mortgage to this person, and eventually they might end up, dragging themselves in the court, having, improper consensus and all. So I feel like the government has a very big role to play first in this place. This mortgage we're talking about, they are successful in the Western world, the Western countries, because their government already put in place what is sufficient enough. And that's why you see somebody say, I bought this phone for maybe £1,000, and they will just remove like maybe £2 every week or every month from my salary. I don't even know when they deduct it, but I know whatever is remaining for me, I can still keep that for myself and pay my bills. And we are talking about 30,000 minimum wage here in Nigeria. That is not even enough to buy a bag of rice. How do you want to even think of mortgage? So like Tom said, orientation and reorientation. There is no way you can tell me right now to go take a mortgage when I know I finish my salary 1 week before I collect the salary. Once I'm taking the salary, I already have, people I'm paying already. So it's difficult. So I just believe, the Yoruba will say, if two trees fall on each other, you have to remove the first one. And I believe you take each step at a time. So I think there needs to be a step of employment opportunity first in this country, before we start, going to mortgage. And because if the government make provisions for all these things, we won't have excuses to say, oh, we can't do this, oh, we can't do this. Even at that time, if the government should arrest somebody who is picking pocket, because there was a news yesterday that the road robbers have returned back to the express. About 88 people were arrested within 24 hours. So if there is, a good provision of job and other provision that can keep the youth busy or the people busy making money, they won't go back. And in that case, if you are caught, then they will punish you satisfactorily.
What's your take on what he said?
Well, he has spoken rightly. First of all, you need to address the issue of poverty, increased poverty in the land.
Thank you.
Because that is also responsible. Like you rightly mentioned, if you are going to take a facility from the bank, there will be certain requirements that you need to meet.
Due diligence will be done.
Due diligence will be done, and that's why I talked about institutional framework being put into place, and certain things also. When you talk about also. We talk about informal and formal sector, people that are engaged by the government, who are being paid salaries.
Yes.
Those ones, the government can also, take care of that.
Yes.
And even despite that, if you look at Lagos State has about 3.2, million, housing deficit. Despite the fact that yes, you hear them saying we are building low-cost housing, affordable housing, all the time, But at the end of the day, the workers, even in the government sector, how many of them have access, to this housing that we are talking about? It's not just enough, So I think we need to continue to improve, on all of this so that we can ensure that this housing deficit is reduced.
Okay. So sorry, Rio. Let me take this question. We have all these issues on ground. I mean, issues that we all have identified. So, do you really see these solutions coming, as soon as now, or do you is it a hopeless situation? I mean, let's get real here. We like to be real on this table. What do you see for future? Do you see a bleak future, or do you see a hopeful future for?
Well, if the government will walk the talk, I think there is hope. While the president was doing his campaign, there was a program he was actually addressing some people, and he said that banks should make credit available for people. When he was talking about how to fight corruption, he said when you know that you want to buy a house or you want to build a house, you don't need to put 10 million naira to go. You know that you can get facilities and then you'll be paying, in bids.
Subsequently. Installmentally.
If they can really walk the talk, I think there is hope. And then one other thing that I wanted to mention is the issue of insurance, because he was
Yes.
talking about people not being able to pay back and
Yes.
some other
Yeah,
things.
yes.
You know,
Insurance is
if
important.
our insurance industry is also working, and people know that, okay, if I give loans, yes, you can transfer the risk, because the reason why the banks will not give you loan is because they will analyze their risk. You know, so if they know that, yes, we can transfer the risk to the insurance, and the insurance industry is also very robust, then also that will be part of the solution to this challenge.
Perhaps that's why it's really the people who we can refer to as middle class and the upper class that are the ones that build the houses and get the houses, because they are more credible, they have good jobs, they have a good income and all of that, and that's why the lower class are not able to get this kind of facilities. But if I like I said, I think there should be a lot of enlightenment campaign.
Sure.
From the government. We need to reach out to people and say, listen, you want this, we want to do this kind of things for you, because we know that they are not wants but they are needs. You see, but you also have to reciprocate in the sense of being accountable, and paying back whatever it is that we're going to use to support you. Because I remember at some point we had the People's Bank. Can you remember the
Sure,
People's
sure,
Bank?
sure.
And they tried to do something like what we're talking about now. But that bank went down at the end of the day. It was the people that brought the People's Bank down.
Exactly.
Can you imagine?
Seriously.
Unfortunately. So, I wish it can just get better. People have to have a mindset of being accountable and responsible to whatever it is that they have. Once you know that your name, wherever you sign your signature, you need to be faithful and loyal to that, because that's all. I think that's all I've got. I'm not rich, but what I have going for me is my name, and so I will protect it with everything that I have. So as long as people get to realize that it's important to protect your name, I'm sure they will do
Of course,
much better.
of course.
My last question, actually. I don't know why we have to go start the house deficit from 1991 to 2023. I know there were probably little house deficit, before 1991.
But they were
And
not
I know,
pronounced.
yes, but they were not pronounced. I don't know, was it that people were living very well before 1991? I don't know, but then you would see some estate, example, Gowon estates. And you will see civil servants, that time when you're working as a civil servant, it's like you're working in a good company. You get all your, beneficiaries, all your entitlement on time. It's like the government does not joke with civil service, because I believe civil servants are the blood that runs in federal government's vein. Once they stop working, the federal government stops working.
Sure.
Yeah. So from that time,
The government generally, not just federal.
the government generally,
Yeah.
thank you. Is it that they stopped the policy they used to have, or because of the greediness or selfish interest of some politicians? Because I can say the new minister of housing actually said something. The new minister of housing and urban development, Ahmed Dangiwa, is already saying that, okay, we are processing, what's it called? We are processing something for numbers of homeless people we have. So it's not like the government is not aware about this. So whatever thing is processing, I want to believe there is nothing new on this art. So it's something that has been done before.
Yeah.
So is it advisable, or would you advise the government to borrow from the previous experience before 1991 and apply, or do you think the population of Nigeria broke that policy?
Well, I don't think there is anything that the minister is saying that is new. All these things has been said over and over again. Like I said when I started, that there has been this slogan of housing for all by this time, housing for all, and then they keep shifting the dates, So it's not as if they are not aware. The awareness is there. Starting from 1991 does not mean that there were no issues back then.
Before 91.
But because the issues were being addressed, and then the awareness began to increase. The information began to get to the people, in terms of data and statistics, so then we begin to take it from there. So I think what the minister is saying is not new. Okay, I believe it is something that has been said, and even if they go into archives, they will see documents speaking, to those facts, that there have been solutions, there have been how do I call it now? Maybe propositions, as to how these issues can be addressed. But the willpower to do so is what is lacking. And also the issue of corruption, which has also reared ugly heads in every sector of our economy, is also affecting the housing sector.
Okay, we're about to round up, but I just want to ask you two questions in one, and I'd like you to give us very brief answers. Right. So, first of all, what would you like to see in the very near future in this industry? And secondly, what is your personal contribution in this industry?
Well, what I would like to see quickly is that our government should get to work and provide the adequate incentives, to an enabling environment, for greater private sector, both formal and informal sector, participation in the provision of housing delivery. The private sectors are trying their best, but they also need to be encouraged. So I think that is what I would like to see. And also, we should also reduce our penchant for, imported things. I believe more research can be done to ensure that we bring in local content, more of local content into our building industry.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
How have you contributed?
Well, in our own little way, as a quantity surveyor, we see to the cost, of building, cost of infrastructures and development generally. So we are playing our role to ensure that if you want to build, you get value for your money.
All right, quantity surveyor Lanre Farotimi, thank you so much for being our guest on the Bumper Breakfast Show this morning.
Thank you for having me.
And we hope we will have you sometime soon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, we'll take another break and we're coming back with a community report.
That's right. You too could be one of the 20 Zenith Bank customers that will win 150,000 Naira every 2 weeks from June 1st, 2023 until May 31st, 2024 in the Zenith Better Life Promo 3. To qualify, simply open a Zenith Bank account. For more information, visit www.zenithbank.com/betterlife. Live the better life with Zenith Bank.
It's the Premier League all on DSTV. All the goals, all the clashes, all the moments. All of Rashford, Salah, and Saka. All in the language of your choice. All in HD. Available on all these bouquets to choose from. To watch on all these devices. Stay connected for all the action. Get DSTV with an HD decoder. Plus dish plus 1 month confirmed for 18,500 Naira. It's the Premier League. All on DSTV.
Welcome back. It's the community segment and we have community reports. Today on the program, we have live in the studio Prince Adeshino Olukoga. He is with us in the studio. He is the CDC chairman of Magboro and he's representing them right here in the studio. Today we'll be looking at the Magboro community in Ogun State, and our focus is just Magboro in general. Under Magboro we have a lot of little communities. Yeah, so we're just going to be looking at all of that in general on the program. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the program, Mr. Farotimi.
Good morning.
Mr.
Adeshino
Olukoga.
Welcome to the show.
Okay, let's go there. Let's hit it live. Let's look at the Magboro community. That's under Ogun State. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Under Ogun State.
So how is it doing? I mean, how are you guys doing in Magboro? because I saw you on certain reports in other television stations.
So why don't we ask where is Magboro located?
Yeah, he said, okay, where is it in Ogun State?
In Ogun State?
Yes.
Magboro is a Lagos extension, so to say.
Why do you want to associate with
Second
Lagos
Lagos.
extension?
Second Lagos.
Yeah,
is it under
that's what-
Lagos or
it's
under
not,
Ogun
it's
State?
under Ogun
You
State.
already
We
said
share
Ogun
border with Lagos.
Okay.
Very close to Lagos. We are just
About how many minutes away?
5 minutes drive.
Oh, 5 minutes
From
drive.
there.
Is Magboro before Mowe or after Mowe?
Of course. Is when you are coming to Lagos, inward Lagos is after. Is after Mowe.
Is after Mowe. Okay, so when you're driving out of Lagos?
No,
Inward
when you are
Lagos.
driving after outward Lagos
It's
Okay.
after Mowe.
is
before
before Mowe.
Okay.
Mowe. Okay. All right. Thank you. So at least
Okay.
let's get that landscape.
Yeah, yes, okay, so now that it's clear.
Yeah,
tell
so
us.
it's just 5 minutes drive from Lagos. In 5 minutes, it doesn't take us 5 minutes. With what is happening on our highway, though, we suffer it several years. A lot of lives have been lost during the construction of the
Of
road.
the expressway.
Of the expressway. So then we can spend like 3, 4, 5 hours in traffic. But
Now,
It's
now
better, it's getting better.
It's better,
Yes,
okay.
now it's better. With 5 minutes drive, 7 minutes max, you are in Lagos from Magboro. Magboro is share boundary with Lagos. We share boundary with Ifo local governments on the Lagos side. We both share boundary, and we connect with Lagos. On the other side, we share boundary with Ewekoro local government.
Okay.
Magboro is quite huge community.
it's a big
Okay,
community.
okay.
big community.
You've been in the news recently, for all sorts of reasons. Can you tell us what's going on in Magboro?
Okay, 2 things is happening. In fact, a lot of things is happening in Magboro. But basically, from the last one we did, is about our road, about how the state, both the state and federal government, has neglected Magboro. Because as they are doing this, the dual carriageway, they abandon part of Magboro, which they promised that they are going to do what we call underpass. That is how we navigate into Magboro, coming from Lagos or going to Lagos.
Okay.
That place is abandoned, and now that we've been pushing to see how they can come back and do it, and then we are hoping that they will come back and complete that job. From their promise, they said they will come back, and we are hoping that they will come back, because in Nigeria we know once a road is commissioned, that might be the end of it. So, and we don't want that to happen to Magboro.
All right, Mr. Adeshino, this road I'm looking at, does it belong to the state or the
This is a
federal
state-
or the
this is a
federal or state?
This is a state
This
road.
belongs to the state.
Yes, this is a state road in Magboro. You can see these are the schools, the only secondary school we have in Magboro.
Do only one secondary school in
Yes,
Magboro?
in Magboro, only one.
That is the
That's the
uniform.
secondary. Do they
Yeah.
have a local government? Is there a local government chairman?
There is a local government chairman, and the local government is even far from Magboro.
Just like if for local government.
Yes, it's
Yes,
Obafemi
it's
Owode.
far.
It's far.
It's
It's on
far.
the
You
road.
will still
Yes.
drive like close to
An hour.
30,
Yes, close to-
30, 40
because of the roads, about an hour.
kilometers.
Talking about being far, during election, did they come to Magboro?
Of course.
They came to Magboro.
So you people voted.
Yeah.
So
Thank
they
you.
shouldn't- So you voted now. They came to Magboro during the election. Magboro was being recognized.
Exactly.
They came over to campaign and you voted. So what step, as the CDA members, the community, the members of the community, the people that live in the community, what step have they taken, at least to let the government know? Or is it that they know they are ignoring? Or is it that you people are the forgotten ones? Because there are some people we call the forgotten ones. There are some areas we call the forgotten ones because they've been neglected by the government. What steps have been taken?
He's actually
That
the
is
CDC
why-
chairman of Magboro.
I know that's why I'm asking him. What
Yes.
steps have they taken?
That is why
Yeah, yeah.
when I started, I said we were being neglected by both federal and the states.
Have you
Even
written
the
letters?
local government.
So what have you
gone?
done?
Have you protest? Have you written letters? Who are you in talk with? Are you in talk with anybody? Let's call them out on national TV so they can do it. They can do what is necessary.
At the federal level, we're in contact with Engineer Dedamola Kuti, who is the Southwest Director in charge of the dual carriage. With the controller and all of them, we are in touch. In fact, last time they came when we did 2 weeks ago, they were in our area to do a sort of palliative, that is the federal, on the federal aspect of it. They were in our area to do some palliative for us and promised that they were coming immediately after they finish the dual carriage, that we are on the stage 2. That is where they said the underpass and the overhead bridge and all of that, because the projected overhead bridge, pedestrian bridge for us at Magboro, and then the underpass where to navigate and all that. So we are in contact. Even at state level, we met with the local government chairman 2-3 weeks ago, was in our area, but we all know what is happening with the autonomous of local government autonomous. So they cannot really do anything. They only kept promising. But with Engineer Akisanya, who is the SA to the governor on works, we've written letter to the governor. We were there, and they were promising us that as soon as possible they will get to us. But Magboro have never, in the past, apart from only during Governor Amosu, which the road that was constructed even at that time has been destroyed.
It's almost worn out.
It's worn out. It's completely worn out, because at that time they didn't even plan that articulated vehicles. If you look at the kind of vehicles that are moving into Magboro, coupled with these dredging companies, that has even destroyed most of our property in Magboro. There is flood. We have flood issue. We have flood issue in Magboro. We are neglected by all part of government. We talk about constituency project and all that. We don't feel any presence of government in our community.
You know, I saw a video where I saw students going to school, and they are walking right inside
the water.
It's not even hygienic. It's not even safe.
Okay.
That's the situation we find ourselves.
Unfortunately, let me now talk to Mr. Additional. Well, she made a very, very important point. How long have you been living in Magboro?
Oh, I spent 20 years in Magboro.
20 years in Magboro. Well, the number to call has just been displayed on the screen. If you want to be part of this program, and we are expecting that you will be part of this program, please call us on the number displayed on the screen. You've been living in Magboro for 20 years. We had an election this year, 2023.
Yeah.
What exactly was your stand during the election? Did you ask for this government to return? And if you did, then perhaps you shouldn't be here. But if you didn't, and you're here taking these steps, we need to call out the appropriate authorities to get to work. Magboro needs you. Federal and state, Magboro needs you. They're calling on you to come out. Hello? 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 Okay, so I think some people are trying to call, and we're hoping that we'll get some calls, while we're talking to you. So now that you have done what you have done, are you going to rest on your oars?
Oh, of course, no. Until we...
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome.
This is Abdul Malik.
Okay, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Obafemi.
Obafemi Owode?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. That's your local government, right?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and make your contribution.
What happened is that those roads, they are not in good shape. They are very bad. It discourages us from even taking our workplace and going back home, because the traffic that we normally encounter while going back to work in the morning, those stress are too much. Sometimes we don't even meet up with the normal time that we are supposed to report to the work or to the office in the morning. We want him, being the CDA chairman, to talk to those people. They have to give him listening ear. They will listen. They shouldn't just be dining and eating with them. We don't want someone that will be dining and eating with those people that we elected. What are they doing if they can't repair our road? Your car will get spoiled, number one. You won't get to work early as expected. So what is the essence of electing those leaders that are there? What are they doing?
Nice question. Thank you.
We want him to talk to them. They will give him listening here. Before ordinary citizens that are not holding any position can get in touch with those people, it should be very difficult. They don't listen to anybody, but I believe that they will give them listening here. You should do the needful. He's the one representing the good people of Obafemi Wood.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you so much.
Good.
Hello? 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 Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome to the Bumper Breakfast Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Olatunde is my name.
Okay.
I'm calling from Magboro.
Aha. Your people have followed you here. Okay, make your contribution.
You are showing now, the video clips I'm watching now, it's like on the other side of Magboro, as if you are coming from Ibadan. I think this is still better. On the other side, yeah, if you are coming from Lagos towards Ibadan,
Okay, Afa.
Magboro right ahead, it's more terrible than this. And I don't know, maybe it's the same CDA chairman.
This is chairman.
If the CDA chairman is saying they have done this, they have done that. This is a political error. And that is the main purpose where CDA is established. To be the spokesperson for the people and the government. And I've been listening to him saying that they went there, they met this, they met that. All these are political statements. They should have had a commitment from the governor or from the main commissioner for town planning that this is our program for this area, this is our program for that area. This thing is round the year issue. In fact, I'm telling you, this one go right, wherever how you call it.
Okay,
they used to use and there is a swamp, both left and right. I believe the government of Ogun State is listening and seeing this thing. Until we have a local government disaster, maybe something terrible happens. So I believe that the government should do something. It's really pathetic.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your contribution.
Do the needful.
CDC chairman, they said do the needful.
Go straight to the governor or to the government and tell them this is our problem. It is not enough to just say that we have spoken, we have written. You will write and write and write.
Thank you so much.
You come. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So here the ball is in your court for according to what he's saying.
Yeah.
You see, let me tell you something. Whatever we face as human beings, perhaps we deserve it. Because we had choices to make. We had choices, Mr. Shino. We had choices. And I want to tell you that I live in Magboro too. I live in Magboro too, and I know what exactly is happening in Magboro. And I know what happened during the election in Magboro. But we're calling on you, Governor Dapo Abiodun. The Bumper Show live today is asking you to fulfill your promise to members of, no, not just Magboro, you citizens of Ogun State, and Magboro is inclusive. You made a promise. You said you were going to give us good roads. We're calling on you now to give us good roads, Governor Dapo Abiodun. Magboro is here representing other communities in Ogun State. Yes. Is there anything else you want to say?
CDC chairman, before you say something, let me quickly chip this thing in. Okay. If you can listen to the callers, as most of them are even blaming you.
They're blaming you.
I think you need to do more.
Yes.
As the CDC chairman, you need to stand your feet. It's not about writing letters. Truly, they are just like political statements, just like the last caller said. It's not about writing letters. It's about you people going there, go and it's your right. You have the right to see anybody that is in power. We voted them into that position that they are in today. Look at the rules. You said just one secondary school in Magoro. Okay, even if there's just one secondary school in Magoro, at least everything should be perfect. Even if it's not perfect, it should be okay.
Have you even asked how many health centers are in Magoro?
It should be okay. Look at the roads. And news reaching us this morning before we even talked about Magoro, they said there was a recent accident.
Yes, that
killed somebody there just due to the bad roads. And they said even the commuters, even the drivers are not even obeying traffic. They are passing through one way.
Yes.
That's what the colleague was telling us this morning, that some of this problem, even if the government, reason I do say the people, even with the people at times, we are our problem. The government is not giving us what we want, but we should at least try to make life comfortable for ourselves.
We the people are, in this case, Tessie,
I'm telling you.
we are going to agree today. Yesterday we disagreed, seriously. We disagreed. I refused. But today I agree. Hello, good morning. Let's take this last caller. Hello, good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello, good morning.
Hello, morning. My name is Musili. I'm calling
from where?
Maguru.
You brought your people with you. Okay, let's hear from you quickly, Mr. Musliu.
Hello?
Hello, you need to...
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
You're live, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Please, we appreciate the CDC chairman. Hello?
Yes, we're listening.
We are listening.
Yeah. Hello?
Can you go ahead? Can you go ahead?
Okay,
we don't have the time.
I'm calling from Maguru.
Yes,
all right, welcome to the Bumper Breakfast Show.
Make your contribution, sir. We may need to...
Chairman,
Yes.
for coming on here. Yeah, we appreciate the chairman for coming on here. So even tender the problem we are facing in Maguru. But what I want to advise is they should engage the federal government. The roads that the Baga did, there are water. They did not channel the water well.
Okay.
That's the entrance
Okay.
and the exit.
Okay.
The entrance and the exit.
We don't have time. We need to round up the program now. Do you have just one more thing to say? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We need to go. All right, Mr. Shino.
Okay. My last word is just that, like you said, all of us has a contribution in this matter. And as a community leader, I still don't just relax and say all is well when all is not well. So I still assure them that we will still do more, and that is why we are here. That's why we are here to beg the state government and the federal government that they should do the needful. If need be, yes, we need to beg them also. We appeal. This is our right, but we are begging. We are begging that they should just come to our aid and do the needful.
Come to our aid in Magboro and do the needful. We're talking to the federal and state governments. Please come to Magboro and do the needful. That's our package today on the Bumper Breakfast Show. We wish we had more time, but we don't have enough time. My name is Tom Adeole. It's been my greatest pleasure being here today. Tessie?
All right. This is how we end the show this morning. My name is Teresa Adeyemi. See you on the Bumper Breakfast Show tomorrow for entertainment. All entertainment, no politics. Please, do come your way.
Have a good time. Thank you so much, Mr. Shino. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Yes.